So this is the picture we got in the ambulance. You can see here, this was the ambulance when it came out of the house. And this was me here, I was shooting video. This is our photographer, Chris, who got the picture. Every day we would watch Michael. Every day we'd have one photographer waiting at the house. The security was very excited, not like usual. Usually they're very, very calm, very professional. This day they were very, you could tell something was wrong. Also, the gate kept opening and all the help was leaving. The nannies, the chefs, everybody was leaving. And then on the screen inside the ambulance, it said 50-year-old male, not breathing, and we know Michael's 50 years old. So I said, wow, this could be Michael. Half an hour later, I could see through the fence and I was trying to shoot it on video. The stretcher came out and Michael was on it and they were putting him inside the thing. So I told the guys, Michael's in the ambulance. So the gates open, the ambulance comes out. It's just one bodyguard trying to keep people away. I went to the side window and I tried to put the video camera against the window. There was nothing to see, but I knew we could get a still picture through that. So I called to Chris and I said, come over here. And
Chris, right here, get here. Get that flashlight, Chris. Keep doing 100.
He came over to this window and put his camera against the window and took 3 pictures, and this was the picture he got.
Before the tragedy, what was it like here?
In the months before he passed away, there would oftentimes be as many as 10 to 15 fans.
Standing right here? Or
they would park there, and then when Michael would come out, they would come up, mostly females from Europe, Japan. And Michael was incredibly gracious. He would always stop, roll down the window and visit with them, take any letters or gifts that they had, and then they would follow to wherever Michael went. In the years before his death, he wasn't the huge pop icon he became the day after he died.
So when you were following him before his death as a paparazzo, it was more because of his peculiarities and his unusual behavior.
It made for great photos, and his photos didn't even generally sell that well in the US. In Europe, we did very well. So his daily visits to the dermatologist, when he would go shopping at night sometimes, those pictures always did well for us.
So when you would come here, or you would position one of your photographers here, what kinds of stuff were you looking for before all the tragedy?
Well, became very consistent by the end. A lot of rehearsals, and when he went to rehearsal, there was nothing for us to get. They would, drive underneath at the Forum when he was rehearsing there. But we were looking either for, a doctor's visit, because we could always get pictures there, or a shopping trip. Shopping was the best.
But you weren't looking for any weird behavior inside the gates. I mean, you didn't expect that.
Correct.
He was rehearsing for how long? How long was he going in and out of these gates rehearsing?
Well, that started about, I would say about 5 to 6 months.
Five to 6 months,
Before he
because
passed away.
they're making so much out of the few days before he passed away, him being in good shape, but he had been rehearsing for quite some time.
Yeah, a long time. It started out at a studio in Burbank. They eventually went to the Forum in Inglewood, and then eventually to Staples Center that's where they were filming.
So this was a daily thing he would do?
Almost daily.
What time of day would he leave to go to rehearsal?
Generally in the afternoon, 1, 2, 3 p.m.
Was this place completely silent until then?
Well, if he was going to go to the, doctor's office, that would generally happen late morning.
Like 11 in the morning?
Yeah.
And then at night, you said, I've heard that sometimes he could be heard rehearsing in here.
Yeah,
and you said he'd go shopping at night. So he was a night owl. He'd stay up late.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what.
And I had a conversation with one of the members of the security staff who indicated that there were many times where they took him out where nobody was here, meaning very, very late at night.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So already for months, this sleep problem had been well established. They were having to adjust his rehearsal schedule around that, obviously. And he was known for being up late at night.
Right.
And then Murray, just so I put this timeline together, they've been rehearsing for 5 or 6 months. Murray had been here for a few months. Giving him who knows what. Were there trips to the pharmacy? Did you follow Murray to the pharmacy?
We would follow the security staff because a lot of times they would go and do the advance work. If they were going to go to a store or movie theater. So we wanted to kind of have an idea of what Michael was going to do later. And oftentimes they would go to pharmacies and pick up various things.
Did you guys ever try to figure out what they were picking up?
They were smart enough to not let that picture happen.
So Ben, you were actually here that fateful day. Where were you exactly? And what happened?
So one of my photographers was here, posted early in the morning. Shortly after noon, he saw the ambulance arrive. Also with a fire truck that parked outside, the ambulance went inside. He called and alerted me that there's an ambulance at the house. At that time, we had no idea. That could be anything.
Did you just come over here at that point?
I came right away. I got here in about 10 minutes.
What'd you see?
I saw the fire truck outside. There was one fireman outside kind of directing traffic. And then you could see through the gate, the ambulance was inside with a number of ambulance technicians. And the gate kept opening and closing as security was letting the help out. They kind of sent everyone away.
And did you try to get in?
We did not try to get in.
And what did you think was going on? Were you aware that something was seriously wrong?
So again, at first we thought maybe one of the kids is sick, maybe one of the staff is sick. Through the fire truck that was outside, we could actually see the computer monitor, and it said 50-year-old male not breathing. Knowing that Michael was 50 years old, we thought, okay, this is probably Michael.
Did you see any of the kids?
We did not, no. When they loaded the kids into the Escalade that followed the ambulance, they did that kind of in a place that was out of our view.
How about Dr. Murray? Did you see him come out?
His car was here. He used to have this BMW with Texas license plates, and we saw him come and go all the time. And we saw the car in there, but we never saw him.
You saw him come and go all the time. So was he here all day, every day?
His schedule varied, but we would see him arriving, and then generally later in the day. And then he would also go and run errands and
he'd live here, basically, spend the night here?
Yeah, he would be here at night.
And how many weeks, I guess, before the fateful day did you notice him coming around? Was it days? Was it days or weeks?
He had been here for, I would say, a couple months.
months already. So this idea that he had no idea what Michael Jackson had been taking is a fallacy.
I don't know that I can speak to that.
He'd been giving it for a couple of months.
He was with Michael Jackson in the house for a long time.
Because that flies in the face of some of the defense, does it not?
I don't know, to be honest.
Did you ever? I heard some of the fans say they would see Michael Jackson leave like 5 or 6 times a day. I've actually heard them say up to 8 times a day. He'd go out and go to the dermatologist's office. And
he went to the Arnold Klein's, the building where Arnold Klein's office is, almost every day.
Once a day or multiple times a day?
Usually once a day. He'd be in there for an hour to 2 to 3 hours.
Any speculation about what that was?
I don't know, but...
I can't listen. I'm a physician. I can't think of any condition that requires a daily dermatology visit over long periods of time.
So you came pretty close to Michael.
Yeah, I've talked to him a number of times the last year. When the ambulance comes out, we don't know who's in it. You know, maybe it's Michael, maybe it's his family member or staff or something. Go up to the window to the ambulance and try to get some pictures. You know, just put the camera against the thing and let's get some pictures. You know, maybe it's a good story for us. And it came out, and again, we don't know who's in it at that point. And we ran up, and my one photographer, Chris, ran up with me. I was doing video, he was doing still photos, and we went up to the side window, and we got a couple of shots there, and a couple guys went to the back window and tried to get some shots there. I noticed one picture in particular that Chris got was through the window at the ambulance. Was I could see Michael's face with a oxygen thing, and the attendants, you know, the medical paramedics were attending to him. And I thought maybe this is a very important picture. I've been following Michael for almost 10 years now, and there's always hospitals. I followed him in Indianapolis, he went to the hospital. Las Vegas, one time he went to the hospital. Michael's always goes to the hospital, you know. It's always, it's Michael, you know, he's drama, you know. Maybe he wants to not do the concert, so he goes to the hospital to get out of the concert. You know, there's, who knows, I don't know. At this point, it was just a, you know, everyday Michael story. And then about half an hour later, we read online, you know, on TMZ, they said Michael Jackson dead. And at that point, we were stunned. It was silence. The office was silent. And it was a whole different ballgame then. Look, we understand when you cover the news, you cover it whether it's good or bad. So we knew that even though as bad as the news was, it was our duty to cover it, and we had the photo, and we couldn't sit on it. We had to put it out. So at that point, it wasn't about mourning Michael Jackson. It was about trying to do business. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but it was.
Did you ever think that I can't publish this, or was it no doubt?
There was no doubt. But once we had the photo and we realized the extent of what was happening in a historic sense, we had to put this picture out, and so we did. You know, as much as I'm a fan, my partner is a fan, Chris, who took the photo, is a fan. We're all fans and we love him. But the photo was taken, and this is the business we're in, and we chose this, and we're going to put the picture out.
How much money did you make on the photo?
Well, we decided a few days ago to not say how much the photo sold for, but we hit it very big on this sale, you know. So yes, Chris and the other people that were there that day and the other and are a part of that agreement are going to make a lot of money. Absolutely. Chris and the other people that were there that day and the other and are a part of that agreement are going to make a lot of money.